I'm live. Hey, how you doing? Mrs. Wakizashi shouting at me from the room next door. This is Gray from Wakizashi Teahouse. How you doing? Are you good? Happy New Year's Eve from Japan. Yes, it's New Year's Eve here. It's Tuesday. Is that right? Forgot what day it is, but I know it's the 31st. Tuesday the 31st December 2024, 10:01 a.m. Look at that. And yeah, be looking forward to doing this. I'm actually able to stream at a more reasonable time for once, not just the weekend, because I'm off this week. I'm off work. That's right, folks. People who work in Japan do get holidays sometimes. We don't work every single day, until we drop. Well, maybe. So, great to see the chat we have already. Jogren 2 was here. He's talking about, this is a surprisingly early stream from Gray. He's curious, and this is a good question. I'll be coming to this in a bit. What was your unexpectedly good comic this year? So yeah, we'll address that later. That's a good question. David Glenn's here. How you doing, man? Great to see you. I hope you're good. I hope you've been enjoying the festive season, and I hope you have a fantastic new year when it comes. I can't believe it. It's coming soon. Coming tonight. I'm getting all excited. Okay. Jogren said didn't go to work till Thursday, so I've been off for like last week and a half. Fantastic. That's great. Okay, here's an answer to his own question. Let's read this out. I will say my unexpected comic I had this year was The New Gods issue 1. Good call. It's a good call. I really enjoyed the setup. Plus, Mr. Miracle is a father. And well, a guy being shown as a father and a positive father is a good change for DC Comics. This is true. This is true. Drink to that. Cheers. And by the way, it's not sake. It's not shochu. It's just water with a bit of lemon in. I've got to save myself for tonight for the big party. Well, not big party. Before we get into the comics, and we will get into comics, folks, don't worry. I'll just say, let you know what Japanese New Year is like, because it's very different to, well, where I'm from, which is the UK. I'm a Mancunian from Manchester. So I have memories of, going out with mates to a countdown party in a club somewhere, dancing the night away, counting down the new year. Having a particularly great time. In Japan, it's more like, I guess you'd call it closer to Thanksgiving in America. So families get back together, people who are living away in other cities, they try and come back to the family home, the mum and dad's home, or, the whatever you call it, the jika in Japanese. And we have some nice food, New Year's Eve, get together, have some toshikoshi soba. It's kind of popular dish, which soba, buckwheat noodle soba dish, or something else, and a few drinks, and stay in and watch the TV. There's two popular programs. One's a fight, UFC fight or something, MMA fighting program, which is more recent, but the main program is an NHK tradition called Kohaku. And it means red and white. So it's red versus white. What does that mean? Men versus women, male singers versus female singers, performers. It's a big music show, basically. And, the different bands, different singers all partake. And then the audience votes on who wins. And that's it. It gets close to midnight. It finishes around, it finishes around 11:30, about half an hour, 30 minutes to go. Then they'll show a bit of news, go to a shrine or a temple somewhere. When it gets to midnight, you hear the bell. The temple bell will be like calling in the new year, striking in the new year. And if you're young and if you're genki, and if the weather's not too bad, it's popular to go out at midnight or before midnight to your local shrine, local temple, and make the first wish or prayer for the new year. So that's it. That's me opening waffle on Japanese New Year. I hope you enjoyed that. So shall we get onto comics? This is what everyone's here for, isn't it? Shall we get on to the top 10? Let's see. Good to see we've got... Who else is here? Dwayne's here too. Happy New Year from the past. Not quite there yet, mate. We say it's New Year's Eve, so we're getting closer. 10 in the morning. Can't wait for it. Looking forward to it. And yeah, it's been mental, man. It's been crazy. Been doing the Japanese New Year soji, which is a big cleaning. It's basically spring cleaning, but they do it in freezing cold weather in New Year here. Before New Year, you've got to get your house, your windows, your car, everything really clean to see in the new year. Looking rather dignified. Oh, thank you. I've got me nice Nice, what do you call it? Like blue sweater, not worn for a while. Do you know Liam and Noel? No, I don't. Although I did see Oasis. What was it? Not one of the first live shows, but the album launch live in the Hacienda in Manchester. So when they had the first album out, David, if you remember, probably their best album, definitely, maybe. Yeah, the launch party for that in the Hacienda, went to that. It was really good, really good live. Before they went completely crazy and Liam was, too drunk to perform all the time. Amateur night around these parts, Dwayne. Yeah, I bet you used to get up to some good times back in the past, didn't you, for New Year? Joe Grant saying, I'm so ready for what might come in 2025. I decided to get One World Under Doom miniseries, but I admit I'm feeling very mixed for this one. Yeah, I know what you mean. There's quite a lot of hype for that, isn't there? I've been hearing it from friends, from buddies, comic book friends, so yeah, I hope it's good. I really do. It'd be nice to get a really good Doom story as a siren goes past outside. It's sad Gold leader actor from A New Hope died. Oh, really? Oh, my goodness. Ghost Machine, says Dwayne Muth. Yes. Ghost Machine is where it's at, and you will probably see some Ghost Machine on the list. Joe Grant, I will say, Gray, I've become a big fan of Ultraman over the last 7 to 8 years. I watched on Shout some of the old 60s series, which are pretty violent. They are, the 60s, the 70s. Violent, a bit sexy, to some of the new generation hero series. That's good to hear. Sounds cool. Okay, right, we're going to jump into it. Let's get on with the top 10. I got a funny comment from me, my mate Sully, Eric O'Sullivan, shout out to him. He put in the Twitter chat, it's like, you found 10? Really? Like a bit of a joke, but yes, I did find 10. And it was not a hard list to put together. There were quite a few which were very, very close to making the list. And I do have some honourable mentions. And also one of those includes the unexpectedly good comic from this year that surprised me. Okay, here we go. Comics time. Let's share. So, this might be a surprise, and there might be some surprises to you out there. But here we go. I know, right? You might say this is a bit low, but at number 10, we have Conan the Barbarian, the continuing series from Titan Comics. Jim Zub writing it, of course. Some fantastic art by Roberto de la Torre, Doug Braithwaite, and there's a new artist at the moment with the current storyline. Yeah, what hasn't been said about Conan? It's been going on for, I think is it like 17 issues now? It's around there. Still going strong, still doing very, very well. From what we've been hearing from Jim Zub, he's delighted. The company, Titan, they're delighted with the success. The sales have been very good, very strong. For a supposed indie, independent comic and a Conan comic, to see it last, this long, over a year and a half, coming on for 2 years. How good is that? Sorry to hear that. So yeah, Conan in at number 10, folks. Right, here we go. What's next? Number 9. This was a mini-series earlier in the year, if you remember. It's The Batman First Night, written by Dan Jurgens with some fantastic art by Mike Perkins. Great colours as well, by the way. This was a 3-issue mini, a Black Label series, a pulpy, noir, 1930s set Batman story. He's got the old-fashioned costume, the original Bob Kane style costume, which looks really cool. There's a bit of romance in there, gangsters, even like quite frightening moments in there. Shocking, electric shocking, shall we say, at times. So yeah, out of all the DC comics, this is the only one that's made my top 10 list. There you go. And just to add a bit of intrigue, there's only one Marvel comic on this list. That's it. One DC, one Marvel, the rest are all, as they say, independents, or the other companies where, as you know, folks, things have been so strong this year. Really, really good. But, okay, there we go. Just a shout out, Zax is here. How are you doing, man? Great to see you. Do let me know what your unexpectedly good comics of the year have been, or maybe your favourites of the year. Great to hear you. Right, let's go on. What is next? Counting down now. Number 8. We have, and this was quite a surprise to me because I didn't expect to enjoy this as much as I do. It is Gromit, an independent book from Image. It's by Rick Remender, Brian Posehn, and Brett Parson. Brett Parson's art in this, mate, it's fantastic. Really, really good. This is a story of a 1980s set, like skateboarders, punk skateboarders, dropping out of school, having home parties, getting beaten up by jocks. It's just a really nice nostalgia heavy, flashback to the 80s, if you were around back then. I was, because I'm old. So yeah, definitely recommend this. It hasn't finished yet. I think it's got, as far as I know, it's limited, so maybe one more issue to go, or two, I'm not quite sure, but big recommend. Really, really good fun comic. Very funny at times, bonkers. Just takes you back to when you were, in high school or that kind of age. I was there too, says Zax. Cool, man. Jogren saying, I wish we could get Red Sonja and Conan back. Yes, at the same time, that'd be good. Well, Red Sonja's being made at the moment. My good buddy Salty, Travelling Sea, he's a big fan, mainly of the covers, I think. I did read the first issue, but I didn't enjoy Dark Age. There we go. And we also got Nosferatu in the chat. No way! It's New Year's Eve and Gray is sober, talking about comics. It's only 10 in the morning. It's too early for drinking. It's got me lemon and water. Because I am a lemon, as you know. Right, here we go. In at number 7, one of the longest titles of current comics, Falling in Love on the Path to Hell. Written by Jerry Duggan, Gary Brown. Look at this cover. The first issue. What a stunning cover. I think this cover actually drew a lot of people into trying this. Let me give you a quick synopsis. The sun set on samurai and gunslingers at roughly the same time, but our two leads didn't die off quietly. In the east, Asami, an Onamusha warrior and female samurai, would rather die with her weapons than surrender them to a sword hunt. In the west, the gunslinger McCraith follows his revenge to the bitter end and pays the ultimate price. The future lovers are mortally wounded, a world apart, and awake together in a purgatory ruled by a ruthless society of damned warriors. This one has it all. Action, the dead, the undying, the dying, and of course, romance. Come on, how good does that sound, the synopsis? And I tell you, the art has been very good. The story's it's exciting, it's action-packed, there's love in there, remember? Old-fashioned love, romance, remember that? I do. I've been missing this because the last issue came out November 27th, issue 6, and we've got to wait until February for issue 7, so they're having a little bit of a break, a mini break, but if that means that, Gary Brown can, get his art and keep his art going, that's fine by me. Okay, here we go. Let's move on. Number 6. This is my only Marvel comic in the list, in the top 10, and it's probably going to be a possibly controversial choice by a lot of my friends and fans. Grey fans. Ultimate X-Men. Peach Momoko. There we go. What can be said about this? It hasn't been said. It's been called the worst comic of the year by quite a few people. People I watch, people I'm friends with. It's also been called one of the most interesting comics of the year. It's a very divisive comic. It might not have that much to do with, traditional X-Men, but if you're looking for an ultimate title that is actually original, that dares to be different, that's doing its own thing, this is it. If you've got any interest in Japan, Japanese life, Japanese culture, again, this is a comic for you. And I really like the kind of watercolour painted art by Peach Momoko. The fact that she's been doing this monthly, hasn't missed an issue, there's been no fill-in artists, come on, that does say quite a lot these days. So there we go. Any surprises there? Are you surprised? How many people switched off when this made the list? The artwork is great, says Jogren. Peach, great illustrations, but it ain't X-Men. Yeah, fair point. It's more like New Mutants, isn't it? Or there's another one, The Runaways, something like that. Do you miss the X-Men who murdered a convenience store cashier for social justice? Says Zax. Oh, classic. Where are we? One thing to say to that, Zax. Okay, right, moving on, folks. Let's get to the top 5. Number 5. Nemesis Rogues Gallery. Dark Horse Comics, of course. It's Mark Miller, Valerio Giangiordano. Stunning art by him. The way he draws faces, especially the eyes, it's almost like the coming out of the page staring at you, staring you down. Nosferatu, talking about you, staring you down. No, it's been wall-to-wall action, completely bonkers, insane, over the top. Mark Miller, actually, with a surprising addition in this like second or no, this is the third series, isn't it? Where he's kind of got his version of Robin. He's got a companion. He's got a partner, a young partner who he's training, and that has added quite a bit to the story. As I say, the art is excellent. There's some ridiculous set pieces in here. I think one of the first issue, there's a moment where Nemesis is completely paralysed. He's recovering. He's been taken down, and still he manages to put somebody down with a chicken bone. Look, what can I say? I can't even explain it. All I would say is just read the first issue. But yeah, it's completely bonkers. And I was close between this and one of my honourable mentions, which I'll come to later. But there's another Mark Miller series which I could have put in at number 5 as well. But I thought it's cheating if I put 2 at the same position, isn't it? It's kind of cheating. So, Nemesis Rogues Gallery hasn't finished yet. It's ongoing. It's almost done. I think there's only 1 issue left to go, because he usually does 5, doesn't he? 5 or 6, we'll see. Where are we? Dwayne Muth says, Nemesis spits a mean chicken bone. He sure does. That was such a crazy scene, wasn't it? That's right, I was saying, I can sense the tumbleweed blowing past us as you said that. I've got goosebumps. Nosferatu's taking the mickey out of me. Slow down, Gray. I can't help it. I'm all excited, as you can tell. I'm hyped up on this because for once in my life I did a bit of work and I put a PowerPoint presentation together for me comics. Not just a list on a Google document. Chris Gore, I'm talking to you. Right, Jason in the chat, great to see you. Ultimate X-Men might play better in trade. Yes, and I've heard that comment a lot, and it's a good point, mate. Month to month, it always feels like something big is just about to happen, but not quite yet. Yeah, I'm very curious to see how it will read in a trade, if you read it all together. I wonder if they're going to release it. And we've talked about this before, haven't we? Like, maybe it's better if they released it manga style, tankobon style. The first couple of pages in colour and then the rest black and white, which would mean, hopefully, Peach Momoko could get more pages done. Release that monthly. What do you think? It's basically Marvel's manga, isn't it? But they're still releasing it as a traditional American style comic book. Even though it's not the X-Men. Okay. Here we go. Number 4. Are we on 4? Number 4 is the first Ghost Machine title on the list. It's Geiger, Jeff Johns, Gary Frank, stunning art. It's very, very close between this and the one that actually got my top Ghost Machine title. They're both fantastic books. There you go. No, I said 2. There were 3 fantastic books from Ghost Machine, but 1 is an honourable mention for me. 2 are on the list. So Geiger is basically, how do you describe it? It's a bit of Fallout, it's a bit of Mad Max. And the character of Geiger himself is a fascinating character. Really, really good design. The character design is it. Let me look at that cover for a start. Brilliant. And what's made this second volume of Geiger, because the first volume is good as well, second volume even more interesting, more enjoyable, is the fact that he's got this character with him now, his companion, Nate, the Nuclear Knight. What a great name. So that has added a lot to it. And yeah, you kind of need, when he's on his own, when his Geiger just like storming through, the outback, the radiated lands of a destroyed America. It's kind of like, it's good, it's interesting, but it's very dark. You need kind of dark and light. You need a bit of a mix. So this Nate, this Nuclear Knight character, he's a bit of an idiot, a bit of a buffoon, and he adds a lot to the story. And if you're a fan of animals, even if they are mutant animals, there's been some great recent issues with animals in. I mean, come on, Geiger's dog, his 2-headed dog. Forgotten his name, I'm just going to call him Wolfie. So, fans, Geiger with Junkyard Joe stops by in 10. Can't wait for that, Dwayne. Junkyard Joe's going to be in it, isn't it? Is it the next issue? Can't wait. Yeah, Batman First Night was very underrated, and that's why I put it on my list. Okay, let's move on. We're to the top 3. Number 3. Now, before you shout at me, I know this started coming out last year, but the first 2 issues dropped last year, and then the following 4 issues dropped this year, so it counts for me. In my crazy rules, my opinion, if there's more than half the series, when it's a miniseries, more than half of it came out this year, it counts as 2024. Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees by Patrick Horvath. He writes and draws it, and letters it, I think. No, he doesn't letter it. He writes and draws it. It's basically Usagi Yojimbo meets Dexter, kind of. Slice of life drama set in a small town where there's a serial killer, but all the inhabitants are animals. And it's played straight, but with a kind of really dark sense of humour in there as well. And yeah, this was a real surprise. It was recommended by quite a few people who watched my videos, who comment. Some of my members as well, they were saying, you got to check this out. It's IDW, which is a surprise. You know, they're not exactly known, shall I say, for really quality comics. They're known for lots of covers, variant covers, but this series, if you can get a trade, I really recommend it. It's only 6 issues. Pick up the trade, and yeah, man, just crazy story. Very, very interesting and surprisingly moving at times. Okay, here we go. What's next? Barney the Two-Headed Wolf. Thanks, Dwayne. You know what it's like when you're streaming. Well, you've seen him before. Stream brain. No idea what names are. That's why I had to prepare this. I'll probably forget titles and things. But this also gets an award for the second comic with the longest title on my top 10. After Falling in Love on the Path to Hell. Okay. Duke, in at number 2. A miniseries. Now, I went back and checked the reviews I did for this and checked the release dates. And I was surprised. The first issue just dropped this time last year. Issue 1, I thought came out in January, but it came out at the end of December. So it just kind of caught the end of 2023, but mostly this was out in 2024. A fantastic miniseries. Joshua Williamson, Tom Riley on art, Jordi Belair colours. I've not really got a big connection to G.I. Joe, but this story pulled me right in. It made me care about the characters who I don't know, no idea who they are. I didn't used to watch the cartoon. We didn't have it, I don't think. Well, I didn't have it when I was young, 200 years ago, when everything was black and white. But yeah, this was just a great, really, really well told story in 5. I think it's 5 issues. So a mini series that works. It's got a beginning, a middle, and end. Some great action scenes, good character moments. Yeah, big recommend. And Tom Riley's style. Some people not sure about it. I love it. I love his style. It's very distinctive. Okay, here we are. We're up to number 1. Can you guess? Can you guess what it is? Comments, drop a comment in the chat if you know what it is, because I've given a few hints. It's not going to be a crazy surprise like there's no Fire and Ice on here. There's no Hawk Girl. Don't worry about that. What else? Trying to think off the top of my head. No more X-Men titles. Happy New Year, awesome one. Good to see you. Good to see you, man. Best to you. Yeah, Happy New Year's Eve, I should say, because it is New Year's Eve here. So excited. JK in the chat. Good to see you. I don't know G.I. Joe, but really enjoyed Duke. Me too. That's it. I'm the same. The same with you. Cool Pig Zax. I love it when people like my taste. Fantastic. Okay. Here we go. Is it number 1 Dazzler? Says Jason. Quick. I need a video. Where is it?
I don't know anything.
Oh, fantastic, mate! I love that comment. You just made it. I don't have his laughing clip, which is even scarier. If you want that, watch my Hot New Comics, the latest video. It's on there. Here we go. Dwayne Muth. No, it's not Transformers. Here we go. Rook Exodus. From Ghost Machine, from Jeff Johns again, and this time the art is by Jason Fabok. The art in this is absolutely incredible. Seriously. Only 6 issues, I know, but it's wall-to-wall, detailed, beautiful art with great colouring. The story's intriguing, a sci-fi story. Little bit of a Power Rangers feel, kind of. If you think about these characters, they have these helmets they wear and they can kind of link to the animals that their helmet is based on. So Rook, of course, can control the birds. And yeah, it's just something different. It really is. It's worth a check if you like sci-fi meets fantasy. And as I say, I can't rave about the art enough. So the only bad news about this is it's on a hiatus because the artist, Jason Fabok, has basically said, if you want me to do this, continually, like, don't want to fill in artist, I need some more time, man. I need time off. It needs time to put them together. So it's not clear when it's coming back. I think it's going to be spring next year. But yeah, it wasn't Transformers. It wasn't Dazzler. Are you surprised? Great pick for number 1, says JK. It's such a great story and the art. Disgruntled, yes, by far the best looking book this year. Truly, truly. And seriously, mate, all the Ghost Machine books, are worth buying if you're a fan of art, comic book art, which I am. Of course, I love stories too, but I started getting into comics because I wanted to be a comic book artist. I loved it, loved art, so that was my entry point. And they all look stunning. Great choice, thanks, Dwayne. Interesting, says Awesome One. Michael, how are you, mate? Michael, great to see you. Thank you again for your support. Hello, guys. Happy early New Year's from Canada. Rook Exodus was terrific. Okay, we've got some honourable mentions. This is my last slide. One more slide. Here we go. I think you might see some familiar ones on here. Honourable mentions are Ghost Machine again with Redcoat. It's another great story with gorgeous art by Brian Hitch, but maybe it was because I don't have the American connections. There's a lot of nods to American history. A lot of characters in there from American history, and it kind of knocked me over my head, but I might have enjoyed it more if I knew, what was going on. But it's good if you like a bit of a conspiracy theory, a National Treasure style, a little bit of a John Constantine character, Simon Pure. So yeah, Transformers is there, of course. It's it's regularly every month. It's good. It's quality. Just for me, I don't have a strong connection to the IP, to the characters. So, yeah, it was on my list last year, but this year didn't quite make the top 10. Here is the unexpected entry that Joe Grun was talking about earlier on. Spider-Boy. Yeah, I know, right? Crazy. But it's actually probably right now the most enjoyable Spider-Man-based story, comic that's out there Marvel's putting out. I think it's more fun than Ultimate. It's more fun than ASM, of course. There's been a couple of Spider-Man miniseries which were quite interesting, like Spider-Man Reign 2, completely bonkers off its head, but that almost made my honourable mentions. Shadow of the Green Goblin, was that the other one? That was a good miniseries, but yeah, Spider-Boy has got better and better as it's gone on. Batman and Robin Year 1. The reason it's not on the main top 10 is it only just started, really. It's only been coming out for 3 issues, so great art and a good story from Mark Waid. Bit of a nostalgia feel to that. The Sacrificers is there from Image. It's a fantasy series, beautiful art, little bit of a, what's the word? Not a Sandman feel to it, yeah, but maybe with the art, a Sandman feel, if that makes sense, or even a bit of Hellboy. And Nightclub 2. That was almost on top 10. It was that between that and Nemesis, but Nemesis, for sheer balls out madness, Nemesis had to go on the list. Nightclub 2 has been better, I think, than the first series. Really, really good series. So there we go. Unbelievable. Pretty Rad says, sup, Repo. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Dwayne saying, Rook Exodus 1 had at least 45 pages of story and no ads. Absolutely. Unbelievable, right? I think all of the Ghost Machine opening issues were oversized, but you still paid out of $3 or $4.99, a really good price, and they're only $3.99 now, whereas most of Marvel and DC are $4.99 or more. Redcoat, last month, issue 7, has a great payoff. That's true, Dwayne. For me, Ultimate Spider-Man started pretty well, and it got better as it went on. And as the climax to the first story arc, right, 5 and 6, around those issues, were really, really good. I was totally into it. And then I think since about 7 or 8, it's just dropped off. It's gone, it's not terrible, but it's not exactly the most exciting Spider-Man comic out there. Is Spider-Boy Miles Morales? No, he's not, surprisingly, Zax. He's his own character, an original character, created by everyone's favourite writer, Dan Slott. I know. I blame Jim. For this because Jim recommended Spider-Boy, and I thought I'll give it a shot. I think I started reading it around issue 7 or 8, and yeah, it's just fun. It really is fun. 12 issues, not 7. Gotcha. Yes, I went live early, Salty. An early time for me, an early start for a change. Top 10 comics for 2024 with 6 kind of cheating honourable mentions. Salty! Look at that. Salty coming in and getting all the adulation. Okay, let's get rid of that. Let's put Grey bigger. So, what did you think, folks? Did you enjoy that? That's my, not controversial really, but for me what was most interesting was, I already said, only one DC and only one Marvel in my top 10. So the rest of them, all 8 were, as they say, independents, because indie is where it's at. Indie is where it's just, they're killing everything else. They're killing off the competition. They really are. With DC and the Absolute books and the DC All-In, changes in some of the creative teams, I think DC have finished the year a lot stronger than how they started it. So I'm actually enjoying quite a few DC titles now, which I'm happy about because I was originally into DC. But Marvel, mate, I don't know what's going on with them. Not just the stories, the quality of the actual comic books, the physical ones, because I do order them sometimes. They're terrible quality. They're very, very thin paper. The colour rubs off on your hands, that kind of thing. Just pathetic. And the art is not good. It's not good. Okay, but speaking of that, I've got a bit of not an exclusive. If you want to have a look at a preview of Deadpool Wolverine issue 1, which comes out Wednesday, but I've actually had access to a review copy. I'm not going to show it all. I just want to show you because I'm talking about art and Marvel, and this actually has some very nice art in it. So shall we have a quick look? Let's have a look, shall we? Where are we? This one. Okay, I made this big full screen, so there we go. It gets a bit bigger. So this is coming out on Wednesday. It's Benjamin Percy again. He's been writing quite a lot of Wolverine over the last year. I like his style. God, who's the artist? All it shows is a surname here. It's Cassara, but have a look. This cover is gorgeous, isn't it? Love the cover. Let's have a look inside. We'll get the credits here. Joshua. Good old Joshua. Joshua Cassara on art. Benjamin Percy writing. The colours are by Guru EFX. What a great name. So here's the first few pages. Now just give it a chance because it starts off a bit, not sure. Let's get to some action without spoiling anything. Here we go. When we get to see Deadpool. This is a style. I like this style. To me, it's got a little bit of a European style to it. A bit of a European flavour. I don't know what you think. Some cruel, crazy action scenes. Just show a little bit more. It is funny. Ben Percy writes Deadpool pretty well because I'm not the biggest fan of the character. He can be too much, like he is in the movies, but he writes him pretty well here, and he writes Wolverine, of course, very well because he's been doing it for a while. Here's a bit of Logan action. There we go. So again, it's kind of its own style. It's not a traditional Marvel method way, is it? But I like this. I think it's a good issue. Story's good. Art's decent. Maybe worth a look. Crash. Look at that. It's Nosferatu in a bar fight again. So there we go. That's all I will show. I don't want to spoil it. Definite recommend out of the ones I've read so far. Okay, who's here? We got Purple Valkyrie in the chat. Great to see you. Happy New Year's Eve from Japan. 10:35 Tuesday morning here. Pops, there's not a single Marvel book that I loved. That Doom one-shot was very good. That almost made my list. I'm glad you reminded me. The Jonathan Hickman one. It's solid, but will it matter in 10 years? Will any of them matter? If you saw me or you heard me talking, the only one on my list, Pops, and this will surprise you, was Ultimate X-Men, because I really like the originality of it. I like the Japanese setting, the look into the slice of life of Japan. It's kind of high school story, and I like her art. So yeah, and it's dark at times. It dares to be dark. There's horror in there. It's weird. It's not an X-Men book, really. You know, it should be its own thing, but I guess that Marvel were not confident enough to launch it without having the Ultimate X-Men on the title. Maybe they thought it wouldn't sell. Like Peach Momoko's Demon Days, you know. Should have had an original title. But good to see you, man. I hope you're having a good festive season. Where are we? Yes, Pops is in the chat. It's been a while and really good to see you. I know we've both been so busy. I normally can't, I can't stream weekdays, or I can't join or watch streams weekdays. I'm working when you guys are streaming. My daytime is your nighttime the night before, you know what I mean? But it's great this week to be off. Hey, haven't been in a bar fight since my 20s, said Nosferatu. I know, mate, I'm only joking. And I'm sure you wouldn't have needed the big pitcher, the beer glass there. You would have used your huge, meaty, knuckly fists. Down to one Marvel, Gray. Hulk, says Dwayne. Okay, is Hulk your recommendation for the year, Dwayne? Yeah, that's a fair one, if you like the character. Philip Kennedy Johnson's run, I don't know, I was reading it in the beginning, but it felt like it was kind of being drawn out. It wasn't really going anywhere. But the art is excellent when it's the main artist. Midnight Diner or Nothing, Nosferatu. Actually, I don't have a clip of that. I should make a clip, shouldn't I? No, Midnight Diner. It's New Year's Eve, where purple is too. Yay! Happy New Year's Eve to you. So it is. I won't dox you, but yeah, I realise it is. Grey's all about that Peach Momoko. No, I'm enjoying it, even despite its weirdness. Where are we? Happy holidays, says Dwayne to Pops. Jason, okay, good, yeah. Recommendations. 2 current Marvel X-Office miniseries have started well. I've not been reading Mystique, but I have been reading Sentinels. I was going to give that an honourable mention. But again, it's only been a couple of issues, so I thought it's not enough to really, get a feel for the series. I am enjoying the Sentinels. That's probably, I think it's the only proper X-Men title, because you guys don't count Ultimate, do you? But yeah, outside of Ultimate X-Men, I'm reading the Sentinels and enjoying it. I've dropped Uncanny. Unfortunately, I've dropped X-Men. Just not really, doing enough to keep my attention. Yes, I know, Pops, it's a very divisive title. Have to agree and disagree about it, because you said it. It shouldn't be an Ultimate book. It should be its own thing. Yeah, exactly, Jason. Would it make best of the year? Maybe not. But seriously, thinking about the Marvel books, and it's quite sad. And DC, for me. DC, only one made it, and it was that Batman The First Night, the miniseries. Space Ghost has been very good. Flash Gordon, yeah, looking good too. Jeremy Adams on Flash Gordon, he's having a great time, you can tell when you read it. And Space Ghost is one that's, I think, has really surprised a lot of people by getting better and better as it's gone on. G'day for the fans. Can you wear a beautiful yukata for the holidays on stream? I don't have one that would fit me. I'm too tall for yukatas. And by the way, yukata is for the summer kimono. Ooh, says everybody in chat. Oh, I've got to drop something quick. I don't have a Japanese clip, do I? Oh, yes, I do. Here we go. Where is it? By the way, folks, I've no idea why I'm going so fast. I know my time is limited. We've got a very busy day here ahead of us, so I managed to get... The time is like 10 till 11 in the morning to do this live stream, and that's it. We're going to be cooking, we're going to be getting ready for the party tonight, dinner party, and, looking forward to relaxing tonight with quite a few drinks, shall I say? Nosferatu. Okay, Salty. Some shout-outs for Salty. Transformers. Yes. Rook. Absolutely. Get Fury. I was enjoying it. It almost made the list, but I thought it felt like they'd either missed an issue or it got rushed to the end. I didn't like the ending. I didn't think it finished well. Frankenstein. Void Rivals. Lots of shout-outs for that from people in the comments on the videos. Conan. Yeah, that was number 10 on my list. Mark Spears' Monsters. Impossible to get for me. Even can't find a digital copy, but I would take your word for it. Space Ghost, Flash Gordon, Johnny Quest from Dwayne Muth. They're all good indies, all recommending. Hoping to see it on Friday. Nosferatu! So jealous. Still not able to see it in Japan. There's still no release date. Like, most people don't even know what it is. You know what I mean? If you say Nosferatu, they'll be like, isn't he that crazy drunken guy who hangs out in people's chats on YouTube? No. I mean, the original movie, people haven't heard of it, or the Klaus Kinski remake. So, yeah, Nosferatu, what's that? So maybe it won't get a Japan release. I'll have to wait for streaming or other ways. Yeah, had to out-Japanese you and punk me out for everyone. Sake. No, I can't take it, salty. Sake's too strong. Too strong for me. DC from Pops. Yes, I'm enjoying Jeremy Adams' Green Lantern run. It's been good. That last issue though, man, I didn't know what was going on. Kind of lost me, but I'm not that clued up on the characters. So there we go. Not fantastic, but the best thing out for you. I'm trying to think like what I've missed, but I was basing it on my, the video reviews I've done over the year, and there are a few things here and there. The Boy Wonder, Junior Bar, wasn't good enough to make the list, but for Robin fans, it's worth a look. But a lot of people were put off by the art style. Yeah, what else was there from DC? Hellblazer, which I'm a big fan of, has not been good enough to make the list. It's alright. Some issues are good. The Dead in America run at the moment, but some issues are not. Characters that I used to like. As I say, Batman, Chip Zdarsky's lost me on that run. No idea. Much more interested in the Batman and Robin year one, and the new writers on Nightwing looking good. What else is there? Batman and Robin, the normal one, which is Change Rider. It's now PKJ on that. That's looking good, but not. It's only been a couple of issues, so can't really make the list. Yeah, do check out the Mark Spears book. There's some good information on League of Comic Book Geeks about it. It's on there. As far as I know, it's a Kickstarter thing, which I think is released now from the publisher. So Salty was saying you can order it directly from the publisher, which is called, oh, there you go, Keenspot, or Midtown Comics. Okay, cool. Good to hear. JK, The Boy Wonder was great. Yeah, I enjoyed it too. I enjoyed the fairy tale like art, and it was lovely to have the Robin stories, wasn't it? More focus on Robin, from somebody who I had no idea. I mean, I heard of his name, but I didn't know the artist. Surprisingly, a take from an international take on the Batman and Robin characters. So good to see. I want to go out drinking with Salty, Nosferatu, and Wakizashi. Me too. It'll be awesome. One day we will all meet up. Yeah, what are you talking about, Salty, you madman? We will all meet up for, here we go, I've been building this up. One day in America or somewhere in between, maybe Hawaii, we can all meet up.
You're drunk. Just bring out the cakes. Cake and fine wine.
If you don't leave, we'll call the police.
Balls.
This is for Purple, by the way.
We want the finest wines available to humanity. We want them here, and we want them now. Miss Blenner has it. Telephone the police.
The finest wines available to humanity. We want them here. We want them now. Purple, you say that now, but Gray and I drinking together will create more black holes than Hearn the Hunter. You and Salty would die halfway through. Do you know what? I reckon Salty's actually a bit of a lightweight. Yeah, I don't think he could keep up with me and Nosferatu. Actually, I don't think anyone could keep up with Nosferatu. Oh, classic. Very likely, Nosferatu. Salty agrees. Amazing. I thought he'd be coming in strong, with a big slap. Cheers. Oh man, I'm not going to go on too much longer. I'd love to. Yeah, what time is it? Mrs. Wakizashi, how long have I got? How long am I allowed to stream for? 15 more minutes. My God. 15 more minutes. Where are we? What should we do? What should we talk about? It's going to be two ticks where I go over here, open up my Twitter. If you want to keep me company for the last 5 minutes, Salty. No pressure, mate. I know you're probably like chilling out and relaxing, but I've sent you the link. You want to come and kill me for my top 10. But this has been amazing. Nosferatu, I don't have time, mate. I don't have time to check something out. Mr. W, let Gray take his balls out in a few minutes. What? What are you saying? How dare you? How dare you there? I don't have a Greta clip. That's too bad. This is how I deal with Mrs. Wakizashi when she's putting pressure on me to finish the stream. Trouble is, he was using his katana, and as you know, by my title, I only have a little Wakizashi handy. It's about that. No. Anyway. No, I'm talking about my sword. Not my sword, my other sword. Jesus. Yeah, thanks, Nos. So, okay. So, yeah, it's been fun putting this together, but I say it was a bit of a struggle, to find some really, really good comics, especially with the supposed big two, DC and Marvel. What a disappointment this year. And great to see indies doing so well. I wish we could get more accurate sales figures. We can't. The ones that are available are very, very limited. Just a few. It's like about, 150 stores around the world, not just America. 150 out of 3,000 recognized comic book retail stores. So it's nowhere near enough. But, you've been seeing Marvel. I don't know why Marvel have been doing so well the first half of the year. DC only had a couple in the top 10. But as we've got closer to the end of the year with the DC All-In, with the absolute titles, they've been coming up, taking over. I think is it about 50-50 in the top 10? It could be. I still think Marvel is a little bit ahead, but that, to me, just screams the loyalty of the fans. There are so many, really loyal Marvel fans who will just keep buying the books no matter what. So respect to them. Mrs. W is preparing fugu to poison Grey as an accidental kill. You almost know too much about that. That kind of worries me, Nosferatu. Have you done it before? Fugu is a famous Japanese blowfish, which, if it's prepared incorrectly, by an unprofessional sushi chef, you can actually get killed eating it. It can kill you. Unbelievable. I've sent him the link, but I don't know, he might not be prepared. Pops, I'm worried about the abrupt ending for Rook, and now we have to wait. Redcoat, I talked about it. I said I didn't have the, I enjoyed it, but maybe because of the American history setting and a lot of references to American historical characters, a lot of it went over my head. But I did enjoy it, and the art by Brian Hitch is excellent. So that was one of my honourable mentions. As you can see here. It's there on the honourables. Dixon and McDaniel's Nightwing is one to beat. Chuck Dixon, say no more. Say no more, Dwayne. I have to say, for next year, one of the things I'm most excited for is Green Lantern Sinestro Corps War Absolute Edition. Yeah, looking forward to that. Okay, folks, good news. As I get me headphones, we have a late entry from... Is it Mark Miller? Could it be? Is it Nosferatu? Making a rare appearance? It could be. I'm trying to build this up. Building it up. Is it Purple Valkyrie? It might be. Hello.
How the fuck am I supposed to live up to what you just did, dude? You're like, oh, is it Charleston Heston? Is it Bruce Wayne? No, it's just me. It's just me, Gray. What's going on?
What's going on, man? Did I surprise you with my early streaming time today?
Yeah, you did. I knew you were going to go live and talk about this, but of course I live in a very North American-centric time frame, forgetting that, you guys over there are in the future. So just like Purple Valkyrie is in the future too. So, but Yeah, I'll tell you what, there were some really good comics to come out this year, and that's why I started collecting back in August, you know?
Yeah, I'm so happy to see you get into comics so strongly this year. And I think you sent me probably my favourite cover of the year, thinking about it and being serious. There have been some great covers. You could argue Rook have had some of the best covers, but the Creeping Below, that black and white, Mike Deodato Jr., that was absolutely stunning. So thanks again for that, Salty.
Yeah, no worries. No, I'm looking forward to issue 2. Like I said, I liked issue 1. I knew they needed to build it up, but I really wanted to take off now. I want them to embrace that whole Scandinavian horror death metal, because I know Purple Valkyrie, she's been sending me some links about some of the dark Scandinavian Christmas stuff, and there's so much. It's such a rich tapestry to draw from. I think it's underutilized, and yeah, sorry. Nas sent me something I'm supposed to vet.
Okay. He's so demanding, isn't he? He's my son. He's my child. He's my lost American boy.
I honestly, whatever he put in chat, you can play. There's no nudity or anything like that. I'm not sure why we need to play it, but I'd say it's safe for YouTube. Okay, it's very NOS, Gray, and
now I've got my co-pilot Salty. I'm having a quick look. Okay, yeah, it's very NOS. Maybe we'll close the stream with it. Yeah, fair enough.
Hey, Dwayne, what's up?
Good to see you. So, I mean, I'm not going to ask you for your top 10, Salty, but what have been some comics that have surprised you, say, this year?
I took a flyer on Batman and Robin Year 1. I did not know what to expect with that at all, and it's been a really good comic. I enjoy it a lot. I like the artwork. I think, not to go negative, but I think the biggest surprise is just how terrible nearly universally everything is within Marvel.
Me too.
I got excited when I saw that they'd restarted X-Men, and of course my perspective on X-Men goes back to the 80s and the 90s when I was last, reading these titles. And I look at the covers and I'm like, are you hiring Special Olympics people? I mean, I can draw better than this, with a pencil, in a toe. It's baffling in the amount of money that they have, and they have, I was more of a Marvel guy in the 80s, and 70s for a while.
Me too. Well, the 70s were the best time, weren't they? So the late 70s, arguably.
Yeah, but it's just, that's been baffling. But most of my pull list is Mad Cave, Ghost Machine. I've got a couple DC titles. The Marvels that I've picked up. I picked up Wolverine, which is okay. I just started the the World War II sort of Wolverine thing, because I like World War II. I forget what the hell the name of that.
Oh, what is it? Hell Hunters, that one.
Hell Hunters. I picked that.
Maybe.
I haven't read it yet. But if you have World War II and you've got Ghost Rider and Wolverine, I'm gonna pick that comic book up. I'm gonna get it, and if it sucks, that's on me. But yeah, there's been a lot of great things, but where I'm going with all this is, you're the big reason why I've jumped back into comics is your show. That doesn't mean you're good at this or I agree with you. You're the big reason. You're the big reason why, part of the reason I got back into comics. Obviously you and Josh McDonald, and of course Max, MVP. And then it just, but like Farrell's been great. Transformers really truly surprised me. Void Rivals surprised me. And then all of your picks too. And you and I talk offline a lot. And I don't know, it's just been great. And then of course everybody's recommendations in chat, like Dwayne Muth. What is Dwayne looking at? Other people who are here, who I don't mean to be exclusionary, have great recommendations as well.
Absolutely, yeah. And Dwayne is always shouting out not just modern things, what's coming out now that he's enjoying, but he always shouts out the classics. Try this run or try this series, and put issue numbers to to help you out. So yeah, Dwayne has been around, man. He's one of the most experienced comic book readers, I think, in the YouTube sphere.
Yeah. And Purple Valkyrie, to shout her out, for Christmas she got me the softcover graphic novel of Secret Wars, which I haven't read that since it came out, and I'm like, I it's been really cool to find new things, but it's also been good to go back and look at things that maybe we read as kids that maybe we didn't appreciate it, from our perspective, but especially now that we're older. And we've had to endure the amount of absolute trash as far as not entertainment has been for how long, to go back and read these and understand the mastery in the craft and what makes a good story. Because, I mean, for me, at least, what it does is goes, you know what? I wasn't just sitting here being an asshole. I and you and other people, Zach's, Purple Valkyrie, when we critiqued what they've been trying to shove down our throats for the last 10 years, whether it's television, movies, or these books,
Just laughing at not comments, sorry, it's me and you, Salty. I'm looking at me and you on screen, it's like ebony and ivory, mate. You're nice and dark and mysterious. I'm bright
I just
white.
want to turn all the lights on, so...
My God, I look terrible. Morning Hayes, there's been some funny comments about EVS and, Rippaverse and all that in the chat, and she's saying the comic stuff with EVS and Eric July reminds me of the old Young and Restless. I like YouTube soap opera.
Well, I do watch a lot of that stuff, and Eric and I got into it, and it wasn't my intent to get into it. And I was actually clipped by, and I haven't brushed my teeth today, and I've been eating almond butter, but I got into it with Eric, and that was not my intention at all. And then I got attacked by all of Eric's ripitards that came after me, and I got, Comicsgate Drama clipped me on another YouTuber's show where I was talking about things from a business perspective and how important it is.
Really?
I mean, after 25 years in corporate America, I've seen a couple things, and my recommendations were not based in jealousy or malice or detracting. It's just, you need to have people to tell you no, and then you need to have people tell you, every opportunity, everything you choose to do is a decision not to do something else. And, I stand by that. It's just, I'm only going to say this. Eric's making money. I don't know if he's making enough money. I bought one book from him, and I regret it and want my fucking money back. I know plenty of people that I talk to on YouTube who bought multiple books, who went through Alpha Core before they finally said enough. I am tired of giving this person who makes a product any more fucking money, and that's it. I think it's the greatest shame in the world is that I think the collateral damage that the Rippaverse is failure to be good stories and to even marginally live up to the expectations some of us had and the things that he promised. I think that's the greatest tragedy in all this. And then it's almost become a goddamn Greek tragedy with Eric July's ego. And it just it truly is almost like sitting through a Greek tragedy play to see someone destroy themselves in their credibility and to attack everyone else for what is undeniably his responsibility. But we don't all have to agree on that.
No, good comment here from Pops. Interesting. All of those creators don't want to hear about their shortcomings. EVS, your boy Zach, they don't want to be called out for their delays.
Yeah.
Eric wants a pass on subpar stories, bland action panels. Yeah, I agree. I've lost faith in all of them, mate. Salty. I've lost faith in all these creators. I used to follow them all.
I back indie creators on Kickstarter, Indiegogo, and Fund My Comic.
I used to,
and
I've stopped.
A lot of people that are brand new. I backed Aaron Sparrow's project, Neil, before Doomface, because I thought it looked great. The argument of books being late, I don't care how late a book is as long as it eventually comes out. Is there a line with some of these guys where it gets fucking ridiculous? Absolutely. If you say your book is going to come out in 2023 and it's the end of 2024 and it hasn't come out, that's a problem. That is a problem. Okay. Now I run out of patience at that point. And I think that applies if you're a young creator. I don't know. There's that guy Vito and then Super Killer, and I don't know all the fucking drama with that. But that guy, he better deliver his goddamn comic, because I think there was a certain point where, and I've streamed with Vito. Okay? A lot of people don't know that. Salty has a whole other life on YouTube I don't talk about. But I've streamed with Vito, And it's just he's an interesting guy. I just want these people to release the products that people have paid for. And would say that to his face right now. I'm in a chat group with him. So no disrespect, but put the goddamn book out,
Yeah, absolutely.
I backed EVS projects. I don't back everything that he does. I think he's a pretty good storyteller. I also back Graham Noland. I back Aaron Lopresti. And again, not everything that they do. I'm very selective in who I give my money to. And I've said this on I think it was your stream, dude. $35 doing the COVID pricing when no one could get printers. It's bullshit, guys. I'm not going to give you $35 fucking for a 40-page comic. Not when I can go out and I can go to Mad Cave or I can go to Ghost Machine and I can get 5, 6, 7 titles from those guys that are outstanding comics. These are outstanding comics, It plus $10, $12 to ship. And I've said this before. I've said this on Comicsgate streams with people. So, yeah.
Morning Hayes saying, I've only backed previously on Clownfish. I like it. The rest that I want, the artist has to have a store. Yeah. I backed EVS's Cyberfrog stuff. As you say, I waited a long time for it. It's gorgeous art. It's lovely. As you say, very, very detailed, almost over-detailed at times. But I don't think he's a great storyteller. I don't think he's a great comic book writer.
Yeah, I mean, I
That's
look
my
at
opinion.
somebody... I look at somebody like Graham Nolan, and I'm totally blanking because I
Graham Nolan and Chuck Dixon, they've been doing stuff together.
Well, Chuck has his ups and downs.
He does.
I don't know if people know this or not, but Chuck Dixon wrote for an all AI generated comic that's been put out, and he was actually talking about it on social media. My laptop's about.
No, I didn't hear that at all.
Yeah, it's out
No
there.
way.
It's actually the storyboarding in all AI art. Are you seeing a trend here from working perhaps with Rippaverse? But Chuck Dixon, he apparently did the story for this, and it's being done by someone who's in Hollywood, who's a storyboarder for film and television. And so that storyboarder is using AI art for everything and then cleaning it up based on Chuck Dixon's story. This is the world we live in. They're going to do this. I'm backing the project because I want to see what Chuck Dixon does. But I will not back anything else that's AI. I would rather have imperfect, near beginning levels of art if there's heart,
Absolutely. I'm not backing anything that's been written with AI or drawn with AI.
No.
Pops is saying delays are fine, but they are absurdly late. They were. Graham Nolan is showing them up. Good books, solid schedule.
Yeah. I again, it's, what is your how much do you value your $35 plus $10 or $12 of shipping, And like on some of these Fund My Comics that are out there, some of these newer creators they're charging $10 a comic book for a 28-page or a 38-page comic book plus $8 shipping, and I'm going to take a chance on somebody like that. Heavy Metal Magazine is relaunching.
Yeah, I saw there's a Kickstarter for that right now.
It just ended. I got the number 1 and I got the Frazetta cover, but I took a chance with that one. I think it was only $15 though. So think about that, man. It's $15 and then $10 worth of shipping. And I hate to break things down into money, but come on. Who has unlimited money these days? It's not like the Trump era. We got Sleepy Joe doing his money laundering bullshit with the Ukraine. So, all of us have to pay the price for that.
Sleepy Joe. Oh, sorry. I mean, we've talked about it before, but we know what it's like from experience. Posting to Japan, it costs me the same or more than the book if I back in something. It's $25 to $30 for a single book.
How much postage costs to send you?
It's insane.
6 or 7 comic books.
I just gave up on backing things. It's too expensive unless it's being made in Japan or Australia. Actually, Australia's not too bad. It's lower shipping from Australia.
Liam Gray he's another comic book artist, and the reverse is true as well. He just put out a new series that I would love to back, but the shipping is $16 and the book is $25. I think it's a 48-page book, but it's like, holy shit, man! I'm going to pay $20 to have something shipped from Australia, and it's like, I mean, I'm not trying to be counting every nickel and dime, but there's a certain point where how much can I just keep affording to pay for the luxury of buying something independent? And I want to support people. I absolutely do. But I don't know. You know, I mean, I have no problem talking about my feelings about Eric July. I think it's a joke, just like that race car driver Cody. Everybody's cashing in on this latest grift on YouTube, which is to make a shitty comic book and then go on FNT and then pimp your contacts to extort as much money from people as possible. And I'll say that to anybody on that fucking crew because I don't care. And I never cared what those fuckheads think.
No. Who does?
But, you know, it's
some
just,
people do.
I think it's really, you know, giving somebody super chats and then, I don't know, buying and making shitty product while shitting on other people who also make shitty product. I think that's just really shabby. It's just really shabby.
It is. It's actually saying, Salty, you should break things down to money. So it's a huge issue, especially with shipping. Yeah.
Agree. Well, you in Canada, it's insane. I mean, like what they charge to ship to you and then conversely to ship in the United States. I mean, like, dude, I can see BC out my fucking bedroom window. I could like get a rowboat with a bunch of mail and probably make $10,000 because it's cheaper than using the Canadian Royal Mail or whatever it is to send shit, you know?
And Purple Valkyrie, shipping and added VAT for the UK. It's a huge issue when trying to back or get anything to the UK. Yeah, I know what you mean, Purple. I used to live there, so I know what that's like. That's crazy.
Yeah. Purple really wanted, I think it was, she's into that video game, The Legacy of Kain. And if I'm saying that wrong, tell me, Purple. But the book itself was $80. And then I think it was almost that amount to ship plus the VAT. So it's a hardcover book of your favorite video game. It's $160. And it's like, I wouldn't buy, I like, that's insane. It is just, it's literally insane for that kind of money. But, yeah. I don't know. It would be different if this was still 2017, let's say 2020, and your only choices were Marvel and DC, and then all the indies were garbage, you know? And that's just not the case, you know? Mark Millar is crushing it. Jeff Johns is doing good work. And these guys, some of these guys are charging $3.99 a comic, not $5.99 for a variant Marvel, you know? I mean,
Zax was saying it was $90 to order 2 of Eric's books to Canada, so I didn't buy them. Yeah. Lord Thoth did.
You didn't miss anything.
They demanded further duty at his door. Jesus.
Yeah.
Nosferatu, Legacy of Kain rules. Great gothic vampire adventure games.
Yeah, she's been playing that a lot. She got the remaster, and it's great to watch a lot of these games from, 10, 20 years ago that are getting new skins. And to see the upgrade of this, for me, The Witcher 3 especially, the reskin of that, even for the Xbox One that I have, I'm not going to buy an Xbox X, but again, we have an embarrassment of great things out there. They're just not new, you know, and finding these things, like I'm going back and watching Blackadder, which I want to watch with you, but watching Blackadder or going and just watching movies from the 40s or picking up comics from the 80s that I didn't get, they're great. Like, I don't need to give Gail fucking Simone or whatever cunt waffle there is that's gaying up whatever legacy superhero there is money. You know, or some grifter on YouTube who's selling and manipulating people through parasocial relationships. You know,
I've got a clip for you now, so when you start getting ranty, here we go.
This is the life, eh? Hey, you want to fight or something?
I'm not Randy. I'm just speaking truth.
Hey, calm down. No, I'm joking. Where are we? I'm going to wrap this up, sorry. There's 15 people watching. It's the most of watching, but I can't keep going for so much longer. I'm so glad you came on. Get your perspective on the year in comics. It's been good fun.
Yeah.
Anything you want to shout out before we finish?
Yeah. No, I just want to ask you if you could, if somebody isn't collecting comic books right now, no, you palm down, Purple.
She knows that. She knows that show. She gets that clip, so that's why we're laughing at it.
Yeah. But I mean, if you could, let's say there's somebody who hasn't collected comic books, or what would you recommend to somebody who's watching now or in the replay if they were going to pick up one issue, a number one from this year, Gray? What would it be? Just what would it be?
If you like sci-fi, Rook, Exodus, Ghost Machine, or Geiger from Ghost Machine, or even Redcoat, I'd go for one of those three because they were absolutely quality. Or Space Ghost, Flash Gordon for that kind of pulpy adventure.
They are, all those titles are good. No, I mean, any of those, I agree with that. I think Transformers, but that's a gateway drug because I think that's such a good series and worth reading that you probably want to pick up the first couple issues to do that. If it's just one issue, Rook, I think you just have to go with Rook. I mean, I think we haven't said it, but Feral. I think Feral is another one. Like if you're not a superhero violency guy, like a different kind of a story, I think Feral's another good comic to go with. So
yeah, good shout out. Okay, that's been awesome, Salty. Right, we'll say good night for now. Well, not good night. Well, it's good night where you are, isn't it? It's good night from me, and it's good night from him. Is that how it goes? Two Ronnies. Come on, the two Ronnies, man. We've been watching that recently.
We were watching that for Christmas. I know. We're both having a beer, laughing.
That was a lot of fun. Okay, what should we play us out with? What's the longest clip I've got? Let's have a song. Thanks so much for watching, folks.
What about Nas's thing? You're going to break Nas's heart if you don't go over weird shit.
Dare I share it? I don't even know what it's got to do with anything. It's completely random. Okay, here we go. This is for Nosferatu. If you get clipped for this, I'll kill you.
Yeah.
He's reaching for something.
Cocaine has
He's got a baggie. It's an 8-ball. He's got an 8-ball. And cocaine goes fucking crazy.
Cocaine is fired up, brother! Coke slam to the depths of hell!
Big throat dressed by cocaine. He's reaching for something.
Thanks, Nas. That's great.
Thanks, Nos. That's just what we needed, to end this New Year's Eve stream on.
Never trust my judgment again, Greg.
Never trust a vampire, Salty. That's all I can say.